Hello everyone, my name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator, and welcome to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast, on this very special May the 4th. What is May the 4th, you may ask? It's Star Wars Day. So that we can go around saying, May the 4th be with you. I'm recording this a little bit later because I just watched the last episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. And boy, was it good. So, yes, indeed, an era has ended. The Clone Wars is officially over. Now, I talked a lot about the Clone Wars on Friday, but I want to talk about it a little bit today, as well as just celebrate Star Wars in general. But first, here's a bit of news for you. Coming to us from the generally reliable Hollywood Reporter, which, I say generally reliable because it's hard to find that in movie news today. Taika Waititi, Oscar-winning filmmaker, the maker of The Hunt for the Wilder People, Thor Ragnarok, and Jojo Rabbit, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, will write and direct a Star Wars film. Oscar-nominated 1917 writer Christy Wilson Cairns will co-write the script with Waititi. Now, Waititi is no stranger to Star Wars, having played the part of IG-11, the assassin droid in The Mandalorian, as well as directing the final episode of Season 1 of The Mandalorian, which is a fantastic episode. Waititi is no stranger to Star Wars. Now, a slight caveat. I hope that Lucasfilm is able to keep Waititi. Their track record at hiring and keeping creative talent is a little shaky lately. But I believe that based on the fact that Waititi has worked in Star Wars, I think it's going to happen. Now, unfortunately, due to the current pandemic, everything has kind of come to a standstill, so when that film would be released is anyone's guess. Waititi also has a very full schedule. He has already shot the upcoming Searchlight Pictures soccer film, or football film, Next Goal Wins. And he's also working on the next Thor film, Thor Love and Thunder, which supposedly will come out in 2022. He's got a full schedule, but I believe, but don't quote me on this, that he will indeed make this film. You know what? I don't care what it is. I don't care what it's about. I don't care when it's set in the timeline. I don't care any of that. I'm just excited that Waititi is making it. Because I have loved his 3 films that I have seen. Now, to be fair, I have not seen What We Do in the Shadows. I think I need to see that. That being said, I have faith that Waititi will bring a great film to us. One film or more than one, who knows? At this point, all I care about is A, that they keep him, and B, that he delivers. And I have reason to believe he will. The Hunt for the Wilder People was just a great low-budget film. A great story, great chemistry between our main characters. It's kind of like Heidi in reverse, where instead of Heidi being a girl, it's a boy. And the story of The Hunt for the Wilder People is, because it's set in New Zealand, which is where YTV is from, a little boy is adopted by this grumpy old man, played by the wonderful Sam Neill, who you may recall as Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park, as well as Borodin in The Hunt for Red October. Plays this grumpy old man, and it's an excellent role, excellent performance. A great movie that's both funny and heartwarming. And then, of course, Thor Ragnarok, which more or less revitalized Thor as a character. And the Thor movies, which up to that point had been a little bit more... well, the original Thor film I liked, directed by the great Kenneth Branagh. Thor the Dark World, I think, was trying to be a bit more Game of Thrones. A bit more dark, a bit more, high medieval, yeah. But it just didn't work for a lot of people, including myself. Thor Ragnarok really revitalized that world. And of course, Jojo Rabbit was also fantastic. And I was very pleased with Waititi's Oscar win this last year. Yep, so as long as they can keep him, I'm excited for anything that he wants to bring to the table. So that's one reason to celebrate on this May the 4th. Also, The Rise of Skywalker is now on Disney+. So if you have not seen it, please go see it. I'm so excited. Because I love this movie. I absolutely do. I love all 5 of these new Star Wars films. I love them all for different reasons. And I love The Rise of Skywalker. So that's another gift on this May the 4th. Okay, I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, we're going to talk about the Clone Wars. See you in a moment. Hello there, this is Brennan Marr, host of Page Turners They Were Not, a Star Wars podcast. And I'm here to tell you about Anchor. Anchor is the best way to make a podcast. Why is that? Well, first off, it's free. Yes, you heard me right. Anchor is free. Anchor has all the tools you need to make a podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you on various platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money from your podcast. And get this, with no minimum listenership. That means you can make money even if no one listens to your podcast. That, of course, is not ideal, as Anchor will allow you to spread your podcast, bring in more viewers, and you can make more money because of it. Everything you need to make a podcast is in one place on Anchor. If you're interested, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you, and may the force be with you. Okay, we are back. All right, let's talk about the Clone Wars. Oh my. That was a fantastic series finale. I really have to say it before it slips my mind. These last two episodes of Season 7, Shattered and Victory and Death, have been marvelous, due in part to the marvelous score by Kevin Kiner. Kevin Kiner, I think, deserves a lot of credit. Kevin Kiner has been the man behind the music of Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, I believe. Though I'm not sure about that last one. Whether or not he did Rebels. I think he did. But I know he did The Clone Wars. And what he has brought to the musicality of Star Wars has fit right in. The music feels like it's part of Star Wars. Now, what he's done in these last two episodes is given us almost a Blade Runner, Vangelis kind of score. That's the only way I can describe it. If you go and watch the original Blade Runner, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, you'll see what I mean. So, much praise needs to be given to Kevin Kiner. If someone were to say, Kevin Kiner is going to score the next Star Wars movie, I would say, okay, because I think John Williams has said that he's done scoring Star Wars films. Now, of course, never say never. But if Kiner were to do it, I'd be okay with that. Alright. These last couple episodes have been fantastic. These last 4 episodes were part of a general story arc. The first 2 were about the siege of Mandalore, where Ahsoka rejoined the fight. Now, slight spoiler, Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order in Season 5 of the Clone Wars. She does not appear in Season 6. In Season 7, she returns, as she had teamed up with Lady Bo-Katan Kryze of Mandalore to deal with the civil war that was going on that planet. So Ahsoka, she did not rejoin the Order, but she rejoined the fight. And it's been her story as she's dealt with the siege of Mandalore. Because Anakin and Obi-Wan are off doing their own thing. Because these last 4 episodes have taken place at the exact same time as Revenge of the Sith. So Obi-Wan and Anakin had to rush off to rescue Chancellor Palpatine, who had been quote-unquote kidnapped by General Grievous, leaving pretty much Ahsoka to do her own thing. Ahsoka and Captain Rex and Lady Bo-Katan and her team, the Night Owls of Mandalore, to deal with Lord Maul. Maul, who had been hiding out on Mandalore. So the first 2 episodes of this last story arc involved the fight on Mandalore. The second 2 involved Order 66. So, It's some good stuff. I'm not going to get into spoilers in case you want to see it. But honest to goodness, if you have not seen the Clone Wars, you should see it. Yes, there are some episodes that are duds. And if anyone is interested, I can provide you. If you want to know which episodes you should watch, send me a message on any platform that you can find me and ask, and I will tell you. But it's worth the watch. Star Wars Rebels is also worth the watch. I have not seen Resistance, so I can't comment on that one. The story of the Clone Wars is more or less the story of Ahsoka Tano and her coming of age during the war. The evolution of this character, as I have said many times, is profound, from going to a character I did not like to being one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And I want to see more of her. So I'm excited about her supposed appearance in The Mandalorian, which, to be fair, has not been confirmed. The Clone Wars series does a good job of filling in some of the blanks. Filling in some things that we didn't really get to see in the movies. Such as Anakin and Obi-Wan being good friends. We didn't really get to see that in the movies as much as we would have liked. Also, the Clone Wars does a good job of giving us insight into Anakin's dark side. No pun intended, but getting to see where he is. How he has such rage within him, but also such goodness in him. A fully fleshed out character. Also, we get the more detail on what really is Anakin's fatal flaw. Anakin's flaw that ultimately proves his undoing, combined with the Jedi teachings, is Anakin can't let go. He doesn't want things to change. Which is exactly what he told his mom in The Phantom Menace. He doesn't want things to change. He's unwilling to let go and let life move on. And that proves to be his downfall. In that he is willing to do anything to keep things from changing. And in the Clone Wars series, we see that he has a hard time letting go of people. He has a hard time keeping his emotions in check. I should say, when those he cares about are in danger. It's an interesting study of the character. So, not only does it flesh out the story of the prequels and of Star Wars as a whole, but it also fleshes out characters. It fleshes out why some Force users can become Force ghosts, while some cannot. Many other things it fleshes out. And you know what? It even gives Jar Jar Binks better things to do than he got in the movies. I know that's very bold of me to say. You might watch those episodes and say, nope, he's still a terrible character. But for me, I think I've come to feel better about him. I think the general upswing in fan feelings, at least on the online discourse, fans are not as harsh to the prequels. And I believe that the Clone Wars series really helped that changing perspective. As people were able to appreciate more fully the story that George Lucas was trying to tell. And the Clone Wars is his show. George Lucas and his protege Dave Filoni. George Lucas being a bit of a story guy and allowing others to take those stories and expand upon them. Also, as we conclude, the character of Darth Maul is now become one of my favorite characters because of the Clone Wars and Rebels. The way he was used in The Phantom Menace, really, I thought was a waste. But what they did with him in the Clone Wars and Rebels series really expanded that character and made him my favorite character and even more beloved by the fans. That just goes along with how the Clone Wars was able to expand upon characters. Not everything in the Clone Wars is great. There are a lot of episodes and stories and characters that I do not like. But I think that what it did overall really was some of the greatest Star Wars content out there, outside of movies. So now, the era has come to an end. The Clone Wars is over. That era of storytelling might be over. The prequel era. But we'll see. But I hope that they can move on to bigger, better things. But Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels in their entirety are on Disney Plus. Check them out. They are very much worth the watch. So on this Star Wars Day, let us celebrate the era that was the era of the Clone Wars. Truly an extraordinary time for Star Wars. So those are my thoughts. My name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. Thank you for tuning in to Fate Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the 4th be with you.